The Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority attracted $364.6 million in foreign direct investment inflows into the country from 2020 to the first quarter of 2023, creating over 30,741 jobs. NEPSA, as Managing Director, Professor Adesoji Adesugba, made this known while addressing journalists on the agency's key performance indicators in Abuja. A breakdown shows that a total of $102.93 million was recorded from international exports, while 1.14 trillion naira from domestic market. Professor Adesugba added that the agency also recorded 8,157 skills transfer for the country during the period. He attributed the feat to the support from the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Well, as Nigeria's Data Protection Commission says, not fewer than 7 banks in the country and other institutions have paid more than $200 million into the coffers of the federal government for violations of the data privacy of Nigerians. The National Commissioner of the Commission, Mr. Vincent Olatunji, while speaking in Abuja following the signing of the Commission's Act by President Bola Tinubu, says the penalties were within a year for infractions committed by the institutions after thorough investigations by the Commission. He did not, however, reveal the identities of the banks and other institutions involved, but explained that over 100 private sector institutions were investigated for varying degrees of personal data privacy breaches within the past 1 year. In Rwanda, latest data from the National Institute of Statistics shows that the country's service sector witnessed a significant recovery in the first quarter of this year, driving a 9.2% increase in the economy compared to the same period in 2022. The report reveals that the services sector contributed 44% of the GDP as a result of a robust rebound in meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions and events industry. Reports from the country's national bank reveals that the economy as a whole improved in 3 months leading up to March 2023. In the first quarter, year on year, the Composite Index of Economic Activities, CIEA, which is used to forecast the direction of economic movements in the coming months, surges by 14.4%. Stocks in Asia fell today as investors worried about China's latest rate cut, if it would be enough to boost confidence in weakening economy and hoped for a bigger stimulus package for Beijing. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside Japan fell 0.72%. China's benchmark CSR 300 was mostly flat, although Hong Kong shares and mainland property stocks skidded after the rate cut's disappointment. E-money futures for S&P 500 fell 0.33%, while U.S. markets were closed for a public holiday yesterday. Hong Kong stocks fell 1.47%, with its tech gauge dropping 2.41% under disappointment about the size of China's rate cuts and continued worries about Sino-U.S. tensions. Japan's Nikkei fell 0.24%. Today, with Australian shares bucked the trend, hitting a 7-week peak, with the commodity stocks leading the charge. The International Monetary Fund is working on a platform of central banks' digital currencies to enable transactions between countries. A CBDC is a digital currency controlled by the central bank, compared to cryptocurrencies which are decentralized. Speaking in a conference attended by Africa's central banks in Morocco, IMF's Managing Director, Ms. Kristalina Georgieva, says, and I quote, "We are working with global CBDC platforms to have more efficient and fairer transactions. That we need systems that connect countries, systems that are interoperability. That's according to that they need interoperability." The IMF director added that central banks need to agree on a common regulatory framework for digital currencies to avoid a vacuum that would be likely filled by cryptocurrencies. Grab Holdings, Southeastern Asia's leading ride-hailing and food delivery app, is preparing its biggest round of job cuts since the pandemic. The layoffs are set to be announced this week and are likely to surpass a 2020 round of shrunk staff by 360.5% of employees over economic impact of the pandemic. The ride-hailing food delivery app has pulled forward its forecast for 2023 revenue and its profitability timeline. But Grab CEO told staff in December that the company was freezing most hiring, pay rises for senior managers, and cuts in travel expenses and budgets. Crude oil prices slipped today after China cuts benchmark lending rates less than some expected, sowing further concerns over the oil demand outlook for the world's largest crude importer. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude experienced a downward price review of 0.71% to sell at $71.27. Brent crude sells at $76.39 with an uptick of 0.39%. Also recorded an upward review of 0.39% to sell at $75.58 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket, crude dealers are offering $75.89 with an upsurge of 2.28%.